Hello everybody, I'm JackieKCooper. I'm back again. This time I'm here to answer the questions that you sent in asking about me and, about myself. We got tons of questions about a variety of subjects, more questions than we could possibly answer in the time we've allotted for this video. But we will have later videos that will cover, what my taste in movies are, what other genres I like, etc., etc. But today we're going to focus on those questions that you ask me about myself. And the number one question, even though it has been blasted all over everywhere when Maxwell first discovered me and got me out there in front of the public, he stated, this is a 77-year-old man who has been doing YouTube videos for 12 years. So that was only sent out a few weeks ago, so I am still 77 years old. I haven't, aged any since then. I guess I have a few days or whatever, but haven't changed the yearly age. I'm 77, and then the next question people ask is, where are you from? It's something about the way I talk that makes people think I'm from some specific area or region. Very astute. I live in Middle Georgia, small town in Middle Georgia. We don't even have a movie theater here. I have to go to nearby cities to see my movies. I was born and raised in South Carolina, so I've been a Southerner all my life. So I guess that's where I get this drawl naturally. So anyway, that pins that down. I lived in South Carolina. I went to grammar school there, high school there, college there, law school there. Yes, you've asked, what is your other career besides reviewing movies? Well, for a long time I practiced law. Then I went to work for the government. I retired from that and started doing videos. So that's when I came up, or me and a friend of mine who helped me tape these things, we came up with the idea of putting them on YouTube. And it has been a long time. 12 years has been a long time, and people said, why didn't you stop? You only had 130 subscribers. Well, let me tell you something. I got that 130 after 12 years. It was like 2, 5, 8, 25, 45. It was incremental. So I was seeing some progress. I wasn't seeing leaps and bounds or anything like the last week has brought. But I just, I saw, well, one or two people would add to it, and I think, well, I'm reaching a few more. Plus, it said, why do you do this? I have a passion for the movies. I have always had a passion for the movies. From the youngest age. I remember when I was 9 years old. And it's funny how 9 years, comes into my mind. But 9 years old, my mother would give me a quarter and would send me to the movie theater with a friend, and I would take my quarter and buy my ticket, 9 cents. I'd get a bag of popcorn for a dime, a candy bar for a nickel, a penny for tax. There, that quarter was gone. Then I'd have a cup of water, to wash everything down with. But a quarter, can you imagine that? And I know I'm old, but that was in my lifetime that occurred. But I would go to the movies 3 and 4 times a week. It was, and people were, my friends were saying, well, let's play ball, let's do this, let's go hiking, let's whatever, let's go bowling. I was always like, what movie's on? We can go to a movie. So that has been my passion all of my life. Again, 3 or 4 movies when I was growing up. I still see 3 or 4 movies now, and love every minute of it. But going back, I did have my education all in South Carolina, and graduated from law school and went into the Air Force and was stationed in Georgia. I became a JAG lawyer, and I did that and got out after 4 years. Headed to North Carolina, worked for the Hardee's food system, you know, the hamburger place. I did real estate law for them, and then got offered a job back at the Air Force Base where I'd been assigned as a civilian attorney. So that was my career, and I did that until I retired. But right before I retired, that was when I said I got into the YouTube videos. I also wrote some books, and we'll talk about that later on at a later date. But doing the movie reviews, it started out as a fluke. You know, I was serious about it, but it started out as a fluke because I submitted some movie reviews anonymously to the base newspaper at the base where I worked. They ran those. Then I submitted some articles to the local newspaper in the town where I lived, where I was living at that time, and they ran them, and I went down and talked to the editor, and he said, "You ought to start writing a column for us." And it was like, "What kind of column do you want?" And he said, "You can do any column you write." He said, "What do you like the most?" And I said, "I like movies." And so I started reviewing movies for a newspaper. Then I got picked up by 7 or 8 other newspapers. After that, some of the local TV stations called me and said, "Hey, would you consider coming in and doing movie reviews?" And I said, "Well, I've got a full-time job." And they said, "Well, we've got an early morning show." So I would go in around 6 o'clock in the morning and do my movie reviews and then head on over to where I worked. And I did different TV stations. I worked for the ABC affiliate, the CBS affiliate, the NBC affiliate, the Fox affiliate. I covered them all. But it was just, you know, I had my regular work. That was a way that I, you know, earned a living to support my wife and my 2 children. But I always had this other avenue going, you know, this other avenue of movies. And that was just having the best of both worlds. So I really thoroughly enjoyed that. So after I retired, I really cut down on everything except doing the, you know, videos. Because it still gave me an outlet. I still saw all the movies. I still reviewed the movies. And like I said, I got some feedback. I couldn't talk either of my sons, I have 2 boys, into going into the movie industry. They had other passions, things that they were passionate about. You know, they got married. They gave me 4 grandchildren. So those of you who say I look like a grandfather, I am a grandfather. 3 girls and 1 boy. And I'm very, very proud of all of them. But I've had this, you know, just blessed life with my family and my vocation and this side vocation, which has just been terrific. Everything about it has been. And your questions, you know, were so nice about that. You know, tell us about your family, you know, how many children, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I do want to mention, though, when I was going through the questions, and there are so many of them, one of the questions said, "How do you like your eggs?" And then it put parentheses, "This is a serious question." Well, if you want to know how I like my eggs over easy, Southern style. I like it on a plate with grits. Yep, I'm from the South. Grits, bacon, and sliced tomatoes. So I hope that answers the question of this person who was concerned about how I like my eggs. Now, I don't like those eggs that you tap, you know, and you crack the shell and then eat. No, I want mine over easy, you know, and with grits, bacon, and tomatoes. Of course, I like tomatoes with everything. Another question that I remember that someone asked me was, "Do you travel a lot?" And I've traveled some. I don't guess I could say it's extensive, but he wanted to know specifically if I had traveled to China. And I haven't been to China, but my oldest son and his wife have traveled to China. And they came back telling stories about how great it was. So I really have an urge to do that. So all of you out there who are in all the different countries watching this, write in and tell me about your country. You know, maybe I can make a trip there someday. Even though I'm getting a little bit older to do all that traveling, I still have the urge. So we'll see how that turns out. But that is just about all the time that we have for today. But as you're sitting here watching this, and you're watching your computer, look over there on the right hand side and it says subscribe. And if you have enjoyed this, if you want to know, when other videos are coming out and you want to watch them, click that button. Click on that button, subscribe, and we'd be glad to include you in this family and community that has grown up. I am so appreciative of all the attention and viewing that you have given me. From the bottom of my heart, I thank you. That's all the time we have for this video today, so I'll be signing off, but this is Jackie K. Cooper.